The Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, CHRAJ, says it has noted with concern the recent demolition exercise undertaken by the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. Now, the Commission for Human Rights and Administrative Justice says it believes that the eviction should not result in people being rendered homeless or detract from their basic rights to human existence, especially access to essential food, potable water, medical services and education for children displaced by the eviction, and the protection of persons exposed to greater risk of other human rights violations such as sexual assault. The statement signed by Deputy Commissioner Joseph Whittle urged the Assembly to observe international human rights standards regarding forced eviction, including the demolition of dwelling places at Agbogboleshi, and then also popularly called Sodom and Gomorrah in Accra, in pursuance to its human rights promotion and protection mandate. Ghana subscribes to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and is a state party to the key international human rights treaty or conventions which aim to protect the rights of all persons, more especially vulnerable persons in society or vulnerable groups. Additionally, the statement quoted Article 40 of the 1992 Constitution, which promotes respect for international law, treaty obligations, as well as adhere to the principles, aims and ideals enshrined in the Charter of the United Nations and other international organizations of which Ghana is a member. The Commission said it holds the view that demolition exercises may be carried out under exceptional conditions. However, due regard must be given to the appropriate procedures for lawful evictions and full justification encompassing the absence of reasonable alternatives must be given, mindful of the adverse human rights ramifications inherent in such an undertaking. And to give us more perspective on this particular issue is the Deputy Director for the CHRAJ, and it's in the person of Mr. Whittle. And we want to first of all find out what he makes of the decision by the people there to move. Some of them have decided to move. He's joined us on the line. Good afternoon, Mr. Joseph Whittle, and thank you very much for joining us.
Good afternoon, thank you. By the way, I'm Deputy Commissioner.
Deputy Commissioner for CHRAJ. All right. To start with, it has been an age-old necessity to get the people out of this place we call Sodom and Gomorrah, or Old Fadama. Now, what is the problem with the eviction process that you seem to have issues with?
It's not about the Commission having issues with the eviction, but it's about the process that AMA went through. And that is very amplified by the people themselves. It is still playing out, and you can see that right now, private citizens and philanthropists are arranging buses to convey these people to where they come from. So already it means that the duty to have a resettlement plan for the people might not have been met. Otherwise, this should not have happened. My understanding is that even the people are being stranded in some of those who have agreed to relocate to their hometowns are stranded in Tamale and they cannot even get to their village. So this matter underscores the fact that possibly the whole resettlement scheme has not been well thought through.
Right. What we would want you to help us understand, what would you advise government to do in terms of international standards or accepted standards when you have to do demolition or eviction?
You see, let's put it in perspective. Evictions or demolition are things that international law and norms understand will take place from time to time based on development needs, public safety, and other issues. So that one, there is no problem about that. But it has put in place certain processes and procedures that you would do it so that it will be humane, because you are dealing with violating rights of the people. If you demolish my dwelling place, first and foremost, it to mean that I will not have a place to lay my head. What happens to me? I'll be exposed to all the risks contingent upon not staying in a safe and secure place of my own. And all the other possible human rights violations that will attend to that. So that is why the procedures require that you first must have the people properly resettled in a place where you and them have dialogue and agree that this is the appropriate place for them. And you would have even put the place in order for them. By the way, it's not about the legality of the action. I know AMA has a court order allowing them in 2002 to go ahead with the demolition. But that court order is certainly contingent upon the state meeting its international obligations. One, to dialogue with the people. Two, provide a resettlement scheme or program. Three, holding a public hearing to hear the people and know what their plans are, among others. So we take the position as the National Human Rights Institution, who is, of course, this commission is supposed to hold government accountable to its international obligations. We have a duty to point that out and indicate whether AMA has carried that out or not. If they have not, then we would advise them to better think twice.
Okay, my last two questions would be, first, what do you think government can do now that they've already demolished and asked the people to leave the place or sack them? What are the immediate steps government can undertake to ensure that they lessen the plight of the people? And then secondly, have we as a country contravened any international human rights laws? And what are the probable sanctions there are?
So that's interesting. One, I understand AMA intends to continue demolishing the Sodom and Gomorrah, the part that is left. The lessons learned here is that AMA should make sure that they do the right thing. At least the remaining people, it should get them a proper place to resettle before they go ahead with any demolition. There are people who are currently displaced based on the evictions. Government should step in and not allow philanthropists and members of parliament alone to take up the burden of handling them.
Right.
Let's see how state agencies can comply with that to lessen the plight. On the issue of violation of international norms and treaties, yes, to the extent that we have not done this thing properly, somehow we can say that the country has been remiss in its obligations, meeting this particular aspect of eviction.
Okay.
And the government may, when it's reporting under the appropriate conventions, will be taken the task by the international, the Human Rights Commission and other treaty bodies regarding the evictions that have taken place, because this has become internationally known.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
And we are grateful for your time. We'll have to leave it here for now. You had the Deputy Commissioner for the Commission for Human Rights and Administrative Justice, CHRAJ, Joseph Whittle, says that, yes, certainly Ghana has contravened a number of international treaties. So we would see how government responds to this and ensure that they lessen the burden and plight of the people who have been evicted from the Sodom and Gomorrah area.